Superintendent Smith. My name is Gia Truong. I am the Executive Officer for Leadership Curriculum and Instruction, LCI, and also the lead staff person for Effective Principals and Leadership Task Force. I'm especially excited to be here because this is the work that's very dear to my heart. As a former principal and a former supervisor of principal, I know how important it is to define effective leadership and support it. So when I was a principal, I was left to really figure it out myself. And all I knew was at the end of the year, there was one high-stakes test called the CST that I was held accountable for. I didn't know exactly the support that I was getting from my NEXOs and how that was aligned to the work that I was doing at the school. I think many principals feel this way. As a supervisor principal, I had a bigger picture of what leadership looks like and some of the expectations, and worked on areas of recruitment, supporting and developing principals, and evaluating principals. But I didn't see that we had a comprehensive system to really define and support principals and effective leadership. And we need that comprehensive system, an aligned system, in order to make sure that every school has an effective principal, not just some schools. So this work is especially important to me from my experiences. It's also important because the work will also help support how central office supports school sites, and ultimately support teachers, support leaders, and support students to be successful. In terms of the work that we've done so far, we formed two groups. One group is the core group, and that group is led by 6 principals, and they represent principals across elementary, middle, and high school, across the 3 regions from a variety of backgrounds. On that core task force is also 4 external partners that their job is to prepare leaders to be principals, and they also represent the organization that prepared most of our principals. Also 5 staff members who work intimately with principals to support principals. We meet regularly twice a month. We read, research, discuss research, including full-service community schools and what that is about, because we want to make sure that our definition and our support is aligned with effective leadership for full-service community schools. We then present and share what we've done with the advisory task force each month. The advisory task force consists of 23 members, 17 of whom are principals in addition to the 6 on the core. Also on the advisory task force is the president of the Administrators Union, as well as teachers, retired teachers, and parents. We get advice from them, and then we go back to the drawing board and we keep working on it. The third thing that we do beyond the research, the advice, is we actually go and visit sites. So far we visited an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. And we want to make sure that whatever we come up with is relevant and represents the Oakland context. Because we know Oakland is very unique, and we want to make sure that we support the leadership in Oakland. I got to say, the 6 leaders of the core curriculum task force, the principals, really own this. They really believe in it and they own it. And that wasn't true, like in Ash's scenario. It wasn't true in the first meeting. So I'm really, really proud of this. What they came up with at very early stages of planning is that we came up with norms. And one of their norms, which stands out to us, is that we need to keep students at the center of the work, which is one of the major questions that we have. Every time we say something or we come up with something, how is this going to support students? Because we realize when we talk about leadership, we think about adults, but it's adults in service of students. The last thing is that so far what we've done is we've come up with a process of developing this definition by looking at research, getting input, and then also going to sites. But we want to now, we're ready in January and February to engage the community. We want to engage teachers. We want to engage students and parents. So we're ready to do that now. We have a first preliminary draft. And by the end of the year, we'll have a year 1 draft of effective leadership in Oakland. So we're really proud of that. Last thing is my personal vision, and I hope that you join me in this vision, is that at the end of this work, leaders across the nation are pounding at our door because they want in. They want to lead one of our schools because they know that we have a system that has a clear definition and support of effective leadership. Thank you.
My name is Chris.